Hi! So this is my third video of the week. This week's videos are kind of in that intersection between stress and the arts. Obviously stress because that's the theme of this year's Mental Health Awareness Week, and the arts bit because I'm an artist performing at the All in the Mind Festival this year. Today's video, kind of leading on from the video I put out yesterday, is kind of a little bit about work-life balance within the arts. It's something I really struggle with a lot. It's something I struggle with at vocational training, and something that I'm struggling with a little bit now actually, with doing the piece for the festival actually. Of course I am so excited about it, but because of that I just want to put all of my time into it, and I'm kind of, it's very hard not to neglect your life kind of thing. I think part of that is because for me, because I enjoy it so much, and I think that's a lot of the issue for others as well, that is if you are an artist of any walk of life, you're probably pretty passionate about it and you probably like it quite a lot, so it's hard to kind of just separate that off when you kind of do need just the other bits in your life. And for me at the moment, I'm still kind of in the heavy part of my recovery, because I struggle with quite kind of, I guess, severe mental illness, so I'm still kind of heavily in that, doing a lot of different kind of groups and quite intense therapy. So I'm finding it quite hard actually to not just put all of my time into the piece. It's hard for me not to neglect all of my kind of recovery work and just resting. I find that quite hard. Is just that important as well is obviously just resting, just sitting down with a film or anything like that. It's that thought as well of just, I can really make a difference with this piece, and so I should put everything into it. Especially as I'm enjoying it, I should just put everything into it. Like, what's the harm there? Because it's a good cause and I'm enjoying it anyway, so I just need to do it all the time. But like, sometimes you can forget that actually that does come with the pressure, because it is something that people are going to see, and it's something that I'm creating for myself, but it's going to be performed kind of half under another name with the All in the Mind Festival. So I want to do that justice and do my subject justice and all of that kind of stuff, so it's quite hard to separate it. I think an issue as well is what I touched on in yesterday's video a little bit, was that thought of, well, if you can do it all the time, you should do it all the time. If you can, even if you're not in the studio, if you can work on it at home, then you should be working on it at home all the time. A big issue that I faced, and talking to obviously people in the same place as me at our vocational training, was that we had access to those studios 24/7. So, and although that was good because it was flexible to go and practice, it kind of created this mindset of guilt when you weren't doing it. And I think if you have the access to do it all the time, it's really hard to not feel guilty about it. And I think that's quite true to any artist. If you're a visual artist and you've got all your materials right there, or they're in, if you've got a little studio in your garden or really easily walkable, it's your kind of your own personal space, that, well, I have the access to it all the time, so I should be doing it all the time. And I think that's a really hard thing to break, and unfortunately I think it's kind of just a boundary you have to set for yourself in your mind, and I think that's what I'm trying to do at the moment. One of the things I'm trying to do is creating a separate space for my rest and my kind of work, so to speak, although I don't really see it as work, which might be part of the problem. But I think that is helping. I think slowly but surely that is helping to really separate my rest space, my life space, and my work space, even though it doesn't feel like work, but that kind of productive thinking, creativity, all of that in one space, and separate them out. So in tomorrow's video I'm going to be talking a little bit about personal creativity, about just kind of doing something that's creative if that's what you enjoy, with no pressure attached to it. So give yourselves a little cuddle and be really kind to yourself and keep yourself safe, and I will maybe see you tomorrow. You might see my face tomorrow if you kind of want to just tune in and all that kind of stuff. Really mind. A little promo at the end for All in the Mind Festival, because that's kind of, I wouldn't have thought of doing this kind of video a day thing unless they'd kind of prompted it, actually, and I'm really enjoying it. It's really fun. So the festival that I'm doing is completely dedicated to raising awareness for mental health, and that's really cool. And the theatre that curates it has the same goal, so that's very, very cool. And if you watch this video, you are obliged, I'm going that far, you're obliged to at least look on their Twitter or Facebook page or anything like that. Yeah, I went there. Bye.